Right, welcome everybody. Today's topic is, does sexual compatibility matter in relationships and marriages? Well, most of the time, have you heard, I don't know if you've heard of the term soulmate. Obviously, everybody has heard of the term soulmate. But there's also what you call sex mates, if you like, or sex soulmates. Now, is it possible to have a soulmate who is not a sex mate, if that makes any sense, or a sex soulmate? That only because the whole idea of marriages and LTRs is about spending your life with someone. But the thing is, they say, look, sex is not all that matters. There are other parts of relationships that matter. It is true, but at the same time, we have heard and seen people who file for divorce on the grounds of no sex. And in fact, if you get married today, for example, and you haven't consummated a marriage. Now, consummation of marriage simply means having sex. That means that the fact that consummation of marriage is a requirement for starting off married life shows that sex within marriage or LTRs is important. Now, if let's say one of you get married today, one of you goes back and says, look, we've not had sex. Now, when you don't file for divorce, you file for annulment, because in that case, they assume that the marriage was not there in the first place because it wasn't consummated, which means that goes to show that sex is a very big part of marriage. Or in this, in other climes and in the societies that we live in now, with the way things are, long-term relationships. And so, do we think that it is very important that you have to be sexually compatible with your partner? Now, I'm going to put it out there, and who wants to start? Goldie, the way they smile, you started eating, you tried to do shakara with food for us.
No,
so
if I say my husband go join us, I don't want to talk. I don't want to judge matter later.
Let him join. Is it there?
He will join very soon, so I don't want to talk. More than the talk, I'm listening.
Right, so Philip, who wants to get started? Isaac, do you want to start?
A minute, please. I'll join.
Good. Thompson,
Yes, sir.
Let's hear from you. Do you think that, a lot of times during this, we've talked about, we say, oh, sex is great. And most of the time, let's be honest, it is. When you meet people, and sometimes some men say, was this somewhere I read and said, for the last 2 years, my wife refused to have sex with me. And someone said, well, that was my question, is what are you doing with her? Someone said, well, he said, for the last 2 years, my wife refused to have sex with me. Now and then, when she finally agrees to, it's like once a month, or it's always struggling and arguing. And someone said, oh, have you tried counseling? And my question was, what are you even doing then? What are you even doing in the marriage in the first place? What do you understand? In as much as marriage and long-term relationships is not for the sole purpose of sex, it is quite important. It is clear that sex is quite important. It's not, and again, I think we have to be clear that marriage I'm talking of even homosexual marriages now and heterosexual marriages, right? It's not, first of all, some say it's for procreation. I think that's only the secondary purpose. The primary purpose of marriage and long-term relationships is for companionship, right? And for companionship, what other way do you share intimacy, right? Both physical and spiritual intimacy. And again, I will tell you what I mean by spiritual intimacy, if it's not through sex, right? And again, I say spiritual intimacy because sex is not just an exchange of bodily fluids. No. It is beyond that. There is spiritual connection between people. And that's why they always say, look, don't just sleep around. Don't just, know who you, don't just, essentially know who you're sleeping with, or, those kind of things. But yeah, I'm living in the house. Let me hear what your thoughts are. Thompson, let's hear you.
No, I think, like I said, I am here to learn today. So, Golden, if your husband is joining us, he's not joining us, you will still talk. So you better
Start
unmute
talking
that your
now.
voice and fire down. I'm listening.
Let me quickly talk before he comes, so that I will not hear me talk. I think I agree that this sexual compatibility is very, in short, the sexual part of your relationship is very important. You know, we all have different bases of how we, do our relationship. So I'm not going into what is right or what is not right. But the truth is, getting to know someone to that level, it's like the bedrock of a fulfilled relationship later in life, because it's like somebody that you're going to be in your barest minimum, like the way you came into this world naked, the two of you are going to be together. So if you don't have that compatibility with this person, then it's going to be a journey without fun. So how many of our young people nowadays, not our parents, we consider our generation to be different from our parents' generation? How many of us want to be into something like that for the rest of our lives? So I think it is.
Some people would argue that, well, sex is not everything. I mean, if you stimulate your partner intellectually, what's sex? Sex is nothing. It's only no. It's only a physical act. People would argue that. See, you're laughing. But people would argue that it's only a physical act. So I mean, I have fun with you. We stimulate the other ways that we connect. Yes, Thompson, your hand is up.
Anybody, in fact, any group of persons, no matter your degree, that comes and say such statements, that those persons, they are hypocrites in nature. Because one, we cannot go out, catch fun, come and you tell me you stimulate me. If you don't touch me there, you didn't touch me there. That is life for you. There are, when we are talking about this sexual, now the rema is coming out from my life. You see, this sexual compatibility or whatever, compatibility or whatever. You see, you eat food because you are hungry.
Yeah.
You eat because you are hungry, and you must eat to grow. Mm-hmm. You see, these two things that God give woman or give man, they don't eat rice. They don't eat other food. The only thing they eat is passion.
It's each other.
Is passion and good stroke and normal contact. If you don't have that contact, that thing has not eaten. And it also boosts the your marriage. It creates how will I put it? It's like an amusement park. Once you go into the amusement park, you didn't see those fun, those those normal fun thing. You have not gone anywhere. You have not really catch the fun. So sex is the amusement park of a marriage. It is a ground that really exposes the inner secret of a person to his partner. You see, a boy and a girl, if they are starting their relationship, they've not really start having that intimacy. There is still this shyness, and there's still this door that is not open. But immediately the guy break that door, you will see the real nature of the woman coming out. Sister, am I lying? It's the truth.
Okay.
When the guy, let me stop there and wait for the next point.
Okay. So what you are saying is, okay, I'm asking the house now this time. So what you are saying is, it is important. But are you saying it is important to the degree that both of you have to have the same level? Because people have the same levels of sex drive, right?
No. No. Two persons can never have the same level of sex drive. Two persons, no matter what. Have you discovered that when you are living with a woman, if her sex drive is high and yours is low, when you continue making love, it will get to a point, the mutual understanding will start to come. Both of you will start to come you will not start to end in one particular point. One night stand, it will not give you that clear understanding. That one night stand.
But the thing is, see, this sexual drive, it's mainly about your libido and how much you want sex. There are people who are called asexual, but we'll come back to this. Isaac, your hand is up. Isaac, let's hear you.
Good afternoon, everybody. I think there is no official definition of sexual compatibility. It depends on what you and your partner wants. So some people in some relationship, they have sex because they think it is what they are supposed to do. Most people, they go with the mindset that it is sex that we are supposed to have. But for you to be compatible with your partner, there should be communication. You need to be able to communicate about consent, your boundaries, your desires, what you want. You know, sometimes some people, when they have sex with their partners, they don't give feedback about it. They just like let it go because it's like one of those things. I have a friend, whenever he is having sex with his woman, he's not okay because he said the way the woman pants, the way she's breathing heavily like an elephant, and when she's kissing him,
Puts him off.
when she's kissing him, she includes the nose, the mouth, everywhere, saliva everywhere. And I was like, this is not, it's not what I found. She said he doesn't find it funny at all. So that is always driving him away from the woman because whenever it comes to that, he knows that he's going to go through all that. So if you're able to give feedback to your partner and also accept feedback from them, you talk about awkward moments, uncomfortable moments, the good times and the bad times. So if you get that in your relationship, I think it's helps you reach a level of compatibility. So I can see Mr. Thompson's answer.
Thank you,
I'll
Isaac.
continue
No,
later.
yeah, Mr. Isaac, before you, thank you very much, Isaac. Thompson, before you go on, I think the thing is this, right? It's one way to, like your first situation, it's one thing to communicate and give feedback and teach someone how to, but when we're talking about sexual compatibility, I think we're looking at the level of the sex drive, I would say. Are you on the same level with, in terms of, first of all, what you like Isaac, like you mentioned, things that you
Yeah.
like, you want, but also I think it's quite important about the sex drive of the libido. Now, Thompson, like you said earlier, you're right when you said that no two people can have the same sex drive. But the question I want to ask is, if that is the case, is it okay then? And if we at the same time, if we first of all if we say that no two people can have the same sex drive, and in the same breath we say that sexual compatibility is quite important in relationships, in marriages or LTRs, then is it okay then to say that someone who has, let's say, let's put a number to it, someone who has a sex drive of 10, is it okay for them to be with someone who has a sex drive of 2, for example? So there's clearly a difference in the sex drive there because one of them wants sex clearly, one of them wants sex more than the other, and one wants sex a certain way, the other doesn't want it. Now, does that work? Now, Golden, your hand is up. Let's sorry, Thompson before Golden. Thompson,
No,
let's
let
hear
her
you.
go. Let her go first because I want to know where to catch her. Let her go first.
Are you catching me?
Not catching Thompson.
He's not catching them. Okay, but I think the issue of compatibility, it's all encompassing because no
Yeah.
matter the level of sex drive that either of the couple may have, being compatible, one will have to either come down or the other will have to go up for
Yeah.
them to
Yes.
meet at the mid, in the midway. So it now comes in with lots of communication because I'm not your brother, you're not my sister. In short, even brothers and sisters, they don't know how their siblings will do in bed with their spouses. So these are the things you have to discuss. What do you expect? How do you like it? Reading the number of times, anyhow, you have to discuss it with your spouse, very important. So that if you now know that, yes, it is me who has to step up to meet his drive, or is the one that should mellow to meet my drive, but somehow compatibility starts being built.
But Golden, you see the problem with that is this: one person is left unsatisfied.
No, that's communication.
Can I say
Communication will
something?
cover up for those things.
Can I say something?
Thompson, go on.
For what Golden is saying, she talked about communication is a very vital key, and also understanding. If your partner is understanding and you are able to communicate with this person, such problem can be easily solved. And also, the same partner, I listed 4 problems, probably 5 problems that is bringing these problems out. 1, lack of communication, lack of understanding, lack of activeness, and pornography. Pornography has really caused more harm than good, and it has also opened the eyes of a relationship. Why I would say pornography? No, these days people want to practice what they see in pornography. And you forget these people that are doing it, they are movie stars. They are doing it for source of living. So there are other tricks behind the camera you don't get. You now, you want to go and carry somebody's daughter. You want to pant somebody's daughter like what you saw on the Prone movie. Like for the girls, you understand whether you like it or not, there are stages a man will get to. He will not be as active as his early youth. You will now want a man to be riding on you for hours when he's not traveling. You understand? When this person cannot ride like that, you will not go and be remembering Sharon Poo in the poem you watch. Sharon Poo, she has taken drugs. They are all drugs addicts.
Thompson. First of all, my worry is how you know the names.
No, I just gave a name. I don't know if it exists or it does not exist, because this thing is a problem. Okay, you can imagine a friend of mine. You got married to a woman. Along the line, when you started watching porn, you want to start having annual sex with your wife. When you know this thing is it has very bad side effects. You want to be doing it with your wife, then your wife rejects. Now you are telling your wife she's not compatible. Instead of you to understand what you want to do is wrong, all because you saw
Am I still here?
But that's, yes, you are. But see, Thompson, that's a whole different matter, first of all. But Isaac, your hand is up. Let's hear Isaac, then I will kind of.
Yes. One thing I want to say is great sex is created. It doesn't happen naturally. So,
but the thing is, though, it is true. But people have to also connect. Do you know?
Yes.
We are men. We are adults here. There are people. You've met people and you go, the sex was boring. You watch other people, you go, it was great. Even though you're strangers, like, yeah, sex, we connect, right?
Yes.
So,
yeah. What I'm trying to say, yes.
And some don't turn you on. It's just, this is
Sure.
natural.
Sure.
The activeness.
Create that.
So
activeness.
For any relationship to work, there should be willingness on each, or like from both parts, I mean, to put effort into keeping that sex life interesting, romantic, and intimate. Create
Absolutely.
ways. Sometimes you get used to your environment. You can go out, you can travel, go to a hotel, lodge. It's a different feeling there. Not because you just want to keep doing it in your house.
It's not by going to hotel.
It is. No, I'm just citing an instance. It's an instance. I'm citing an instance.
It depends on the person, not the bed, not the.
See, what I'm saying is, it's better to have quality sex. It's better to have quality sex than frequent sex. It's better to have.
But I think
Frequent. It depends. No, that is when frequent sex. We all have our limits. We are humans. We all have our limits. It is to an extent. Frequent sex you're talking about, you can go there and say 2 minutes, 1 second, 5 minutes. You're not satisfying your partner. But great sex, you take your time, foreplay, you do everything, and at the end of the day, both of you are satisfied. Before you can even crave for that again, it can take some days or even weeks. It depends on your libido.
I know, but the thing is,
months.
Okay.
Which is more? Are we writing exam? Am I doing WAEC that I'll be taking more to prepare?
It depends on you. It depends on the individual.
Bros, if you sabi work, you sabi work. You no matter.
No. See, some days are bad.
Men, even if you take 1 year, they don't know
how. Some days are bad.
It is
some
not by the quality.
Like,
it is by what you know.
Right. Okay. The thing is,
it is what you know. If you sabi, you sabi. If you not sabi, you not sabi.
But I think I'm sorry. I think compatibility is different from the technique of having sex.
That's
Actually,
what I was coming
Yes.
to.
they are different, and we should not.
They
That's
are
what I was coming
different.
to.
They are different, but one is needed. If you don't have good technique, you will keep doing Papa Mama style.
You
And it becomes
you
boring.
the truth is you're never going to find a partner that you're completely compatible with.
That is where
You are
communication
never
comes
going.
in.
So definitely that's why you have to balance it.
But
You have to.
let's hear other people. Philip. I know your mom is there, but let's still hear you. You have to speak in the best language. And then there's Sharon. We would like to hear from you. Blessing. Bukola, welcome. I believe it's the first time we've not seen you here, but welcome to the Real Views. But we want to hear your views. We want to hear what you think. So please just click on the icon to put your hand up and I'll call you up. We just want to hear from you. Now, back to what I was saying. Now, I think we keep missing, but the compatibility part is different from, like Goldie said, technique and as well as the communication. I think first of all, you have to have the compatibility before we start looking at technique and then communication. No. There are people that okay, you have to agree that there are people that turn you on, right or wrong.
Can I say something?
Go on, Thompson.
From what you are saying now, it's another different ball. Let's come back to that point you were bringing. See, it's all about a matter of mindset. Some girls are very shy. Why some? They will tell you, I want it. I will give it to you. Why some? They will just be so idle. You will do everything alone.
Thompson, do you know that is true, but that's not where well, that is important as well. But like Goldie said, it has to do with everything put together. But now the thing is this, right? Can you be in a relationship? Let me ask you. This is a point blank question, and it's yes or no. First of all, before we go on, can you be in a relationship with someone who has much lower sex drive than you, or a lot higher sex drive than you? Yes or no? So let's assume that your sex drive is 5, right? Can you be with someone who has a sex drive of 10 or a sex drive of 0? Like essentially no sex drive. Can you? Yes or no?
For me, I would tell you, it is easier to ginger somebody that has low sex drive than to accommodate somebody that has high sex drive.
No.
You're missing the question. You're missing the
question. Thompson, you're missing the question. Okay. Would you be with someone who has a sex drive of 0? When your sex drive, for example, is 5, would you be with someone who has a sex drive of 0 or someone who has a sex drive of 10? Yes or no? I'm not asking who is better.
I will be with definitely. I will. I can.
To which one?
Okay.
Now, which of them? The low sex drive. He's choosing the low sex drive.
I'm not going with low sex drive. Oh, please, God forbid. For waiting, I can't really make a couple for us.
But do you see? But okay, fine. So if you have a sex drive of 5, you would rather be with someone who has a sex drive of 10. Yes? Is that what you're saying?
Me? I can go for somebody that has 20. It's okay. So that I'll be
okay. That's true. But the thing is, no, since you agree, but you see how everybody went silent. It means that, and you have to think, it means that it is quite important, sex, right? Or the sex drive. Now, bear in mind, like what Goldie said something before. He said, you have to compromise. Yes.
Yeah.
But Goldie, the truth is, when you compromise, there's one person who is losing. Because, let me explain to you, because if you're here, the person is here, you either have to go up here or they have to come down, right? Now,
sure.
that is inconvenient for you or them. If they have to come down to your level, that's inconvenient for them. If you have to go up to their level, that's inconvenient for you. But let me hear you, Goldie.
Yes, I didn't finish that part where I was talking about compromising.
Go on.
You see, it's what do we call sex drive? For me, I think it's more like desire. You can marry someone who says, I don't like traveling. That's a very good example, like sex drive. But you teach someone, you say, okay, now we want to take a vacation. Your spouse will learn how to do something like that. So, but it doesn't now mean that the person will get to that same level and love traveling like you love. But you're going to compromise and reduce your traveling because your spouse probably does not enjoy it. So when it comes to sex drive, the main one we're discussing today, there are other ways to satisfy your partner. It doesn't always have to be that sex. And if you have learned not to get to your husband's or your wife's level, you can make do with other forms of satisfaction. It doesn't
Yeah,
have to always be
but
having
that
sex.
means that still means that there's something missing. Both of you are
Yeah,
missing
but
something.
it's all about communication. If
I,
your spouse knows that she can't
I
get
think,
to
I
that
think
level,
okay, we
I
have
want
to
to
deal with
ask.
it.
I want to ask something.
Yeah, go
I
on,
want to ask
Isaac.
something. How long do you have to be with your partner before you know that you're sexually compatible?
I think it's almost immediately, to be honest with you. I think you know.
Almost immediately, because some people they are
I
just there
think you
for
know.
hit and run. It depends
No,
on
but that's
what
the
you
thing, though.
want.
I think that you okay go like I say, it depends on what you want, Isaac. That one, I think as time goes on, but within a short period of time, early you would know easily, right? But let me go back to your point. The thing is this, right? So when you there is communication, it is true, but there's so many things that can be learned. You can't learn erection.
Oh,
Sure.
God bless you.
Now wait, now you cannot learn wetness. So
Yeah.
and see hormones. Okay, what do you think is responsible for the difference in sex drive? It's hormones, right?
Good.
and
Hormones.
how do you think the hormones come about? By stimulation. So if you learn how to stimulate
No.
your partner, yeah,
Sometimes it's nature. Okay,
it's
it's
not
like
nature. It is everything is physiological. When your
okay,
partner learns how to
let me
do it
explain to
right
you.
with you.
Okay, like Goldie, right?
Can, can
I
I say
train, right?
something?
Yeah, go on, Thompson.
Your imagination can stimulate that same hormones. You will see a
Yes,
lady. That is why you see many
yeah,
guys.
but see,
They just want to
have you
chop a lady and go. They just want to hit them and
okay?
go.
Wait, Thompson, have you heard of people with erectile dysfunction? Do you
It's
think imagination will help that? No. Do you think? So that's number one.
Yeah,
Have
but
you also heard?
that's
So let me also ask the house.
medical. We can treat
Okay,
it.
that's fine. Okay, but have you also heard of what people who are asexual? Now let me explain. Asexual people are people who have no sex drive. They do not have sexual desires. They do not feel sexual attraction.
now Juju
Like
be that
But
now.
like
those are extremes now. Those are
That
not.
one is family
If you know,
problem.
then you can't.
no,
Yeah, those are extremes
no,
from the
but
table.
listen,
No, they are not family problems.
this is
Bros,
not
they are
this is
family problem. Not all
no.
It's
medical
health
problem are
related.
physical.
No, it's health
God did not
related. They are
create
not.
anything that is not perfect. That
No,
is where
but
we are
No.
missing.
Isaac,
We
Isaac,
always
Oh,
listen,
believe
listen,
Thompson, who
different.
is that?
Thompson,
The
can we listen? Thompson, can we wait? The thing is this, Isaac, I don't even think it's health related because if it's health related, then that means it's treatable. But it's not like you either have
Yeah,
sex
it's treated,
or you don't.
but
Do you
it's
understand?
manageable. All those things are all medically manageable. They
No,
are.
but the thing is, what I'm saying is, you can't like if someone has no sex drive, you can't teach them that. You
It's not
cannot teach.
teaching. You can go for treatment. They can be
Okay,
treated.
okay, that's fine. But do we also agree that sexual compatibility or sexual desire also comes from attraction? You have to like what you see, right? Can you learn attraction?
And then, if couples are not attracted to themselves, why are they married?
No.
Is that part of the compatibility?
Look. Well, hold on now. Let me finish. This is why we have this topic. The thing is this, right? You can meet someone, you vibe in different ways, you click everything, but there's that difference in sex drive, right? You want sex in a particular way. You want sex, let's say, I don't know, 5, 6 times a week. They are not that way inclined. They're okay with sex once or twice a week, right? Okay. Now you want sex, dirty and all this, but they're not because they don't just their brain doesn't work like that, so they don't get as wet as much as you get as hard, right? Do you understand that? So now that kind of relationship, do you think it will work? Do you think that sex plays a big role in it? Do you think that kind of relationship will work in the long run? I don't think so because I don't think so because I think one person will be unhappy. That's number one. Number two, I have met people who deep down they knew that they like sex, but they were with people who either didn't know how to do it or didn't, and they couldn't. They tried to teach them, and they just were not learning right. And then they meet other people, and they discover themselves, and they then even said to themselves, "I thought I didn't like sex, but it was because I was with this person. I wasn't attracted to this person." Do you see? Have you, like, you see, look, we listened to this video just now from this. Isaac played that video earlier before we started the show. Isaac played this video, and we heard the first thing he said is, he said, each time I say my prig is. Right? Now, do you know that there are people like that you see that you get turned on by?
Very well.
Okay. There are also people who you see, girls can testify to this, guys that you see that you like, that you are sexually attracted to, that your family starts to flap.
Sure.
What is flapping? Do they go with bed?
Yeah.
What am I telling you? How do you want me to describe it?
I don't
That's
know.
flapping.
I just had that for the first time.
Okay, but it's a saying. I don't know how to explain it. It's, you get the idea. Okay, should I be explicit and say the woman's labia starts to flap? But you get the idea, right?
Yeah.
But guys, there are girls, and you know this, that you can be with, and even having sex with them is like you're forcing yourself. You don't even, to get hard, it's like it's work, right? Vice versa, as well, that girls, you want to certain guys, you don't even feel wet for, you feel like it's being forced, right? Whereas guys, that's the girls that you like, you can't stop. The blood keeps flowing. You remain hard, even after you don't want to stop. The same with the girls. You just water full everywhere. Do you understand what I mean? That because you are attracted to that guy. Now again, that there's attraction, and so which means that you have that kind of level of sex drive that match each other, right?
Yeah.
Now, some people would click. They might not click when it comes to other things, or they might. That's a different topic entirely, right? But the truth of the matter is they click. Now, if you are with someone who you don't, you feel attracted to, but they don't feel like they want to have sex all the time. They might like you, they love you, but it's not their thing, right? And do you think that would work? That's a question. Now, Blessing's hand is up, and first of all, I don't know if it's new. I don't know if it's put a chart and said WAP things. Basically, WAP Auda's shoes. Well, welcome, and I think you get it for the first time. But you said WAP things. WAP simply means wet ass pussy. That's WAP is wet ass pussy. It's from this Cardi B song. But anyway,
we have new. I can see
you.
some new persons. We have some new
welcome
persons.
Everybody who's new. Welcome to join for the first time. We're happy to have you. Goldie, let's hear you.
Blessing.
Okay, Blessing.
Blessing, sorry.
Good afternoon.
Well, good afternoon, Blessing.
It shouldn't have resulted in a corner, but it did. Then there's a little movement, and that's all it was from our body. A little
network.
No, Blessing. Oh, we've lost Blessing. Right, Goldie, when you were going to say something.
No, I wanted to just also add that this whole idea of sex drive, it's not like it's a plus or minus thing. That somebody who has a high libido cannot drop. Let's not think it like that. It's controllable when you get married to your spouse.
Of course, you're not an animal.
So that's where I was talking about compromising a little. It doesn't mean that you're going to stop having sex if your partner says.
No, but is it fair? The question I'm making is, okay. Let me put it this way.
It's not going to be 100% fair. Nothing will come to your level.
Let me put it this way. No, let me put it this way. So, so we are adults, right? So let's say you're in a relationship, you meet a guy or a girl, right? Now, you have very high standards in terms of ambition, what you want to do, things you want to achieve, right? And you meet this person they're very happy with very mediocre life. They don't really want to take anything. It's just life is, it is what it is. They're happy with being a cleaner, and there's nothing wrong with that. But they're happy with but you want to be a CEO, you want to own companies, you want to do these big things. But they are happy with, living salary, just cleaner job and all these things. Now the thing is this, now when you meet someone like that and you're trying to pull them up and they say, well, that's not who I am, right? Is it fair for you now to say, well, since I love you and I want to be with you, I would kind of come down to your level and not dream as big or be as ambitious.
No.
Now, even if you think that way, it's almost impossible because you are not built like that. Right? At the same time, it's not fair for you to expect that person who's happy with being a cleaner, being mediocre, to try and want to now start to become CEO. Do you understand? It's the same thing with the sex drive. Now, if someone has high sex drive and they want certain satisfaction, what would happen is if they try to come down to a level, they would end up being unhappy because they are forcing themselves to be who they are not, right? They will be unhappy, unsatisfied. And do you remember we talked about this relationship? We talked about circles in a square. When we said if two people in a relationship, one is a circle, one is a square, we said the one who's a circle has everything in the relationship, but the one who's a square has edges that have to be filled and fulfilled. And which means that as long as those edges remain unfulfilled or unfilled, of course they won't be happy. It's the same thing. And at the same time, you don't expect someone who has a low sex drive to now try and be all these things. Do you understand? You don't expect it to become Sharon Poole, according to Thompson.
But I hope you know that.
Because that's not who they are. Now, the question I'm having is, if you have these two different people in a relationship with that work, bearing in mind they have this distinct, very different sex drives or sex compatibility. Thompson, let's hear
you. We have been talking about a lot. We are not talking about what really make you want Oliver Twist, what make you want to come for more. When we are talking, it's like we are talking about cooking the meal. We are not talking about the spices for the meal. We are talking about sex, this, what that.
But because
do you know
Thompson, before we talk of spices, we have to think of the foundation. We have to have the pot and the plane and the pans, right?
Okay.
So
do you know?
Yeah, go on.
Do you know you can dug a foundation and discover that land is not a strong land. You can have an erection with the person. In the process of having it, you will just lose the appetite. You will just lose everything due to what you meet, due to the circumstance surrounding what you want to enjoy before. Let's not forget about those things. It can really kill somebody
those
mentally.
Things are part. That's what I'm saying. Those things are part of the sexual incompatibility we're talking about, and sexual compatibility. So which means that someone like that, you're not compatible with them.
Yeah, a woman that is not taking care of herself, you cannot enjoy sex with her. A man
that means that you're not sexually compatible.
Thank you. So we should not be talking about seeing the person. You can just see a person and you just love this person along the line based on Christian relationship, no sex before marriage.
Yeah.
On the night of getting married, now you open DSTV the smell. How will you do? Will you call that compatibility? You will run now.
No, but okay. You see, like
that is where you should talk.
But the thing is, but like Isaac said, you communicate. But this issue of sexual compatibility, it's not just about sexual drive. It's a lot of things that.
Yeah,
that's what I'm saying. But Blessing puts on here. Blessing has said that because I think it was her network, right? He said, what happens to couples who were sexually compatible, but along the line goes sour? Now that's normal. You can't be high all the time. You can't be
at all.
So, but that's where communication comes in. That's different from not having sexual compatibility. We keep missing it, right? So if you don't click with somebody, like you meet some people and you go, everything is like plug and socket. Socket, right? When it fits perfect, you say, this is that plug and socket, right? It fits perfect.
But bros, that socket they want out to. You can't be compatible with the person, and if you don't spice your sex life, it becomes boring. You cannot be doing one thing for ages.
That is when you should communicate. Communication comes in.
Sometimes it's not communication, it's adventure.
It is what?
Two of you will dive into that city of adventure. You use Papa and Mama born first pikin, Papa and Mama born second pikin.
But I said something about going out right now to other places.
Okay, but the thing is this, Thompson, you see, the thing is, If Papa and Mama fit is happy for both of you, then you are both happy. The problem with or the incompatibility will come in when
It gets boring at the long run. It gets boring.
Wait, not for both people, because they're both doing it. It gets boring for one person, or for both of them maybe. But if both of them are happy with that Papa Mama style, right? If both of them are happy with Papa Mama style, then that's fine for them. I do understand that they are compatible that way. Now, compatibility does not mean that you have to be a porn star. No, it could be that both of you are. Let's say if we rate sex drive by 0 to 10, for example. So let's say both of you are sex drive is 2. So you are 2 and she's 2. That's fine. That's okay. Do you understand? That you're compatible. But the problem, like I said, is when one is 10, one is 2. The question is, will that work in a marriage or an LTR? Will that work? Now, Blessing's hand is up. Blessing, let's hear you.
Yeah, good afternoon, everyone.
Good evening, man.
Okay, good. Okay, what I want to add is I agree with Godin's part where she said communication. Because let's come to this, like some couples, at a point they are compatible, but along the line, something will just happen, like peer pressure too. For me, I'm coming from that end because sometimes when some guys will go out or some days, they'll listen to their family, they start telling them about their sex stories, how their husband or their boyfriend bang them, things they do. Other people listening, they find out that they don't do same thing. So they will start to desire for more or hungry for more, like Godin said. These things are more like desires. We're not coming back to changing yourself. Can you change yourself for your partner? If you love someone, there are some things that you can amend, especially this sexual drive or something. If you have to look for someone you are compatible, you end up with no one at the end of the day. So sometimes you have to teach your partner how you like it. When you are follow some kind of rules, let me finish. Some kind of amendments or stuff, and it didn't work out, then you know that this one I cannot handle it, or my wife cannot handle it, or I cannot handle it. But just coming to a conclusion that my wife, at first you are attracted to your wife, except you tell me you just married out of something I don't know, mother, father, or somebody gave you the woman to just marry or the man to just marry. But if you are that person that at first you are attracted to your wife or your husband, there's something that brought you there. At first you guys were doing great, right? So along the line it happens. I think for that one, there should be a solution to it. Communicate and know where and where you can amend it, whether you have a high sex drive or lower. Like Thompson said, some people are shy, whether girls or guys, they are shy.
Most women. I said most women. Get me right.
Okay, most women are shy, but not just only women. Men also are also shy. So let's not just face on this. Some men are shy. So don't feel it's only men that talk sex. Some men will not say it. They'll say, if I say this now, she will say I'm not man enough. Same thing with the girl. So they will be like that. So I think some things can be talked about, like communication.
Okay, so, look, we've agreed that some things can be communicated, but there are also things, like we said, that you cannot learn. And I gave an example, and I said, okay, I'm going to ask again. So let's say, I'm asking everyone again. So let's say you meet someone, everything, you click, you connect in different levels, intellectually, spiritually, you're connected, everything. And then your beliefs, your values, everything work. And then it happens that you have you want great sex, and your sex drive is 10. But that's the only place where you have a difference, right? Where their sex drive is 2. They don't really, they want sex once in 2 weeks, or once a month, or once in 3 months. It's okay for them. But you want sex of at least 3 times or 4 times a week. Now, do you think that's kind of relationship will work, even if everything is correct? Thompson said, what do you mean? Thompson, what do you mean you need 3 times in a woman? In the chat.
Yeah, for me, 3 things I would definitely. I need 3 things. I got this understanding from my godfather. He told me one story. He said, if a man wakes up in the morning and is smiling, just know the bedroom was the food was well served. Let me tell you the truth. First of all, this one we are saying, and why you know the reason why you marry your wife, you know. First of all, before a man start to reason you, he will think of the sexual desire he has for you. He will think of other necessity. Now, shame not they let us tell woman, say, man, I am sexually attracted to you. Everybody will just bore it down, I love you. But deep down in us, if the woman is not sexually active, believe me, many men go bagger. Let's be realistic with our honest part. How will I marry you? You are telling me, though understanding will come to play. Like I said, the person that has a lower self-drive should try and to get knowledge on how to satisfy the partner that has the highest self-drive.
Oh, look,
I'm coming.
Look, hormones is not about knowledge. I gave you an example of asexual people who are asexual. Like, you cannot, there's anything that you cannot force. You no matter how much you read about it.
Excuse me, this is what I'm saying. This is what I'm saying. If a man has the sex drive, the woman does not have that sex drive. You should know how to make your husband come. Without, it's not every time there must be penetration. There should be some other. You just know the weakness of your man. Sometimes a man might just see that sexual desire.
But the thing is, he wants sex. He's saying that, okay, fine, there are other ways. But what if that's not what, like you just said, there are 3 things you want in a woman. Want to be a mother, a friend, and a porn star. Am I correct?
Yes.
So let me ask you this. So if you have the mother and the friend in one person, but not the porn star, will you go ahead and marry that person?
Bros, I beg you. My son is not the chop about. We'll reason where, we'll think where. It's something I will put into consideration.
So which means again, it comes back to the point that sexual compatibility is very important in marriages and LTRs. Isaac, your hand is up. Let's hear you.
Yeah, I want to say something. I want to be direct here. Okay, let's say, for example, your wife or your girlfriend, she likes getting head. That is what make her orgasm. That's what make her climax.
Exactly.
And you, as a man, from your own tradition, they've told you don't do something like that. But you're already in this relationship with this woman and you love her. So can there be a compromise as a man for you to do that, to make her come, to get that sexual satisfaction? Can you do that as a man? Can you compromise? Or you say because of your tradition you can't do that and you're going to leave the relationship? So Mr. Thompson, I'm asking you that.
You said what? Please come again.
Okay, let me make it very clear. He actually said, listen, if you meet a woman who likes head, is he a wolf?
Yeah.
Now, but because, and we're not saying you now, we're just saying. And
no, save me. It's okay.
Okay. Let's say because of culture,
which culture? Who culture?
No, relax now.
I got the question. Let me answer him.
Okay, go on.
Bro, at this time of the year, at this time of this millennium, is there any man that does not give head?
There are men.
I want to ask you a question.
Let's use lick plates.
Yes, please, yes.
There are men that don't give.
Okay.
Yes,
Let me there are men who refuse to clean plates.
Yes, there are lots of men.
Let me tell you where we are making the mistake. You say you don't give head, but your finger goes right in there, and that same finger come to the nipple, and that same mouth come to the nipple. Is it not what is in Sokoto that's come to Sokoto?
It's a different feeling.
No, I'm asking you.
It is a different feeling.
Thompson, this argument is immaterial because we're just saying that. We're just saying that some men refuse. No, we're saying that some men refuse to give head. And the issue is or to clean plates. I don't like. Some men refuse to clean plates. The issue of this is this: if such a man and the partner says, "I like you to clean my plate," but the man says, "Well, in my culture and religion, I don't clean plates. I don't like it." Now, do you think that woman should remain in that relationship?
I think for the woman is to pack her things and go.
Hold on, let me finish. Whereas he will expect her to sing to his microphone.
Okay, that is where injustice comes. You don't like to give head, but you want to receive head. Who is cheating who?
No, but see, forget about the argument, forget about the right or wrong. Now, wait. The question is, should that woman now stay in that kind of relationship? Yes or no?
It's left for her individual choices. If she can
What?
manage it, she manage. If she cannot manage
Thompson,
it,
you are avoiding the
go.
question. I'm asking you now directly.
For me,
say, what would you advise? Would you advise
You
her
have
to
to be
stay?
a judge.
If I'm to be a judge.
Be a judge now. Would you advise her to stay or to leave?
On one condition, if the man is not asking her to give the head to, if the man say they give head, I will sentence that man to imprisonment.
Okay, even if the man is not asking for that because he doesn't like that, what if that's what she likes? Do you think
she's good to go? Because one, she will suffer it at the long run.
So because of sex, she should forget about other benefits, other thing that is called love.
Marriage, which benefits?
It's not all about sex. It's not all about sex. There's more to marry. There's more to relationship.
I want to ask a question. What is your religion and tradition towards your wife? Is your wife know your tradition?
Of course. Look, what about relationship?
No, Thompson, I think we keep going too deep here. The thing is, like, that Joseph, we would like to hear you. Welcome. I think you take us for the first time. This is the first time I'm seeing your name. So welcome. I want you to talk. Now, sex, like Joseph has said, sex is very key in marriage, right? And that's what I keep asking. And we keep saying, Thompson, we're not saying that sex is everything in the marriage. Of course, it's not everything. But like, if Joseph has said, it is key, and it is true. It is true. Sure. It is true that it is key. But what we're saying is this: if that one person is not happy because either they don't want too much or they want too little, should they be in that marriage? Joseph, can we hear you? Can you talk?
Good evening, everyone.
Good evening and welcome.
Yeah, nice to be here.
Good, you are laughing.
Go on.
Yeah, so my take is if somebody's in a relationship and the person expects more, as in expects sex, that's what gives the person pleasure, and you're not getting it, then I don't think you should be in that relationship. Because
God bless you, sir.
Let me finish. If you're in a relationship, you're there for certain reasons. I know there are good reasons, but even the Bible says it. If you cannot be alone, then marry. It's one of the reasons for marriage, actually.
Companionship, sex. Exactly.
Yeah, because some people get shy about it. They feel because they are Christian, they shouldn't talk about sex.
No, Joseph, let me quickly interrupt you there. You know what? Good you mentioned that, because I said it before. One of the reasons for marriage is not the first reason for marriage is not, and sex, by the way, is not procreation. It's not for children. It's for companionship.
No. Yeah.
So it is, which means that even religion recognize the role of sex. And I said to you, if you as a man or a woman or whatever, you go and complain and say, look, we've got married, but my partner has not slept with me. I wish they don't. You don't divorce. You annul. The marriage becomes annulled. It's not divorce. There's a difference. That is because at that point, the marriage has not been consummated.
Thank you.
Which means that sex is very important. Joseph, go on. Let's hear you.
Yeah. So that's my point. So if it gets to that point and the woman is not getting what she expects, which is sex, I'm not saying that's all, because it's what makes relationship grow. We talk about communication, but one of the best ways to communicate with your spouse is through sex.
Absolutely.
There are some things that are not said with words, but in actions.
Yeah,
like I tell people most of the time, when you're having sex, sometimes people want to have sex and they say they're tired, they can't do it every day. But I think if you make love, it's a communication. You're touching the body, you know where to touch, you know how to go through with the woman. And at that point,
connection.
You people will be communicating. Then you are compatible, because most times you're just shy, you just want to be stiff. Oh, I think she should know what I need. But you're not telling her what you need. And she too, she's expecting, you should know how to penetrate, how to touch me, how to do that. And you're not hearing it, you don't know it. So I think in sex, you can get closer, knowing each other more. And I think your love gets stronger, if you ask me, actually.
Absolutely. Thank you very much, Joseph. Now, Sharon has said sexual compatibility is very important. It is now left to the couple to seek the right help to achieve their sexual desires. For example, the sex coach. But she's also added that if sexual needs are not met, then such relationship is headed for the rocks, which is true.
Thank
And
you.
she's also gone on to say that if you are with an asexual person and you're very sexual, then the marriage should not even happen in the first place. That is true. An asexual person should be with an asexual person where at least there will be no sex. Now, which I think that Isaac, we're gonna hear you, and then we would kind of come to the end. Isaac, let's hear you. Go on, your hand is up.
Yes, I came across this post on Facebook some days back. The woman was narrating a story. Maybe I'll share the link later. She said her husband does not like her shaving her pubic hair. He likes it very well. So that is how he gets turned on, seeing the hair. That is what turns him on. Okay. So the husband traveled for some days, and before he came back, the woman said she's having itches there. It's itching her. She can't keep it. So she had to shave before the man came back. And unfortunately for her, the man came back before the expected time. And when the man saw it, he said that she has cheated on him. That another man asked her to shave, so that why did she shave when she knows that he doesn't like her shaving? So now the man is calling for a divorce, and the woman said she can't report the issue to her village elder. She says she can't report the issue to her village elder because she's shy. She can't tell them what is going on. Maybe at the end of this show, I'll share the link. It's on Facebook. That's what is she going to do? Now the man has refused to believe her that she has cheated because she shaved.
She should go and put weave on. She should go and put weave on.
No, I mean, the man had a reason for putting that pubic hair to be there like that. He had a different reason.
I think we need to see you. This Auda, you are causing commotion with all these your comments. We need to see you.
The man has
is it okay to put on your camera? Let's see you briefly, and we can. Sandra, by the way, welcome. We know you're here. You're very quiet today. Sandra, welcome. And Chan, welcome. Bukola, welcome. Auda, can we hear you? It's Auda.
The guy is just dropping me that
one. Just okay. But the thing is this, right? With that kind of situation, now would you think that because she likes certain things, that because it makes her uncomfortable to leave the hair, right? Yes. Or the man doesn't, it turns him on. But the thing is it fair to expect her to live with the discomfort because he likes it? Is that fair? Now, also, they find that they like different things when it comes to sex, shaving and not shaving. Would that count as sexual incompatibility?
I call it punishment.
For who? Who's punishing who?
The man is punishing the woman because no matter how will you live, even Bonnie Bush, some leaves were falling off. How can you live?
Some people,
you know what it is? The man has a secret hidden motive behind that act. That woman should come out.
Exactly, that's what I'm saying. You can't just divorce because of
that. No, you can't.
No.
People like what they like. Hi, Sandra. Hi, hello, Sandra. Right. People like what they like. It doesn't matter. He likes what he likes. Some people like big ass, some like big boobs. Some just like
the woman can trim. The woman can trim it. Not just leave Bonnie Bush. Bonnie Bush like going.
But again, but this is where communication comes in. But the question is this: Satisfier Pro 2. This out there, we will block you soon. We'll remove you from here soon. Now the thing is, first of all, would you call that compatibility? Goldie, your hand is up. Let's hear you.
No, I think I wanted to say that just like one simple example to what can cause incompatibility in marriage or relationship. But this also comes to my point of compromising. Communicate with the man and understand why he likes it. And you can probably suggest other ways to him, like what if I trim it a bit shorter?
Compromise comes in there. But again,
now what the man is saying, why did she have to do it when he traveled? That she did it for another man.
The thing is though, that means the man is deeply insecure.
Some people are like that. A lot of things, seriously.
The man is, but we can't really. Someone like that, it's like trying. Someone like that is clearly is someone who's that deeply insecure. It's like it's like trying to explain to him and make him understand. It's like trying to extract water from a rock, and it's almost impossible. Look, but we've come to the end of today. We always go over and over. Now, I want to thank everyone for joining us again. As always, it's always a pleasure to have everyone. Now, Sandra said until she's able to convince the man, she should keep the hair for the man because she already started making the compromise from the start, which is true. And her take is that things like this should be well sorted before the vows. Because yes, these are things, but because they could come later on. They should be started earlier because they become problems later. Thank you very much, Sandra. This is true, but I think, like I said, I think we kind of all agreed that even when we said, oh, sex is not all about it, compromise, we have to agree that no, from all the talk today, we have all come to one conclusion that sexual compatibility, anyone want to look at it, is very, very important. In fact, it could make or break a seemingly good relationship. Right. And on this note, I want to say thank you to everybody. Again, we'll meet again next time, same time next week. So thank you very much again, everybody.
Yo.
See you guys.
Bye.